My name's Casey Levesque. I'm a senior at URI.
Oh, my name is Hans Studing. I'm a senior here at URI.
Hi, I'm David Elperin.
My name is Sean Asudi. I am a senior film media major at the University of Rhode Island.
My name's Chris Anderson. I am a junior at URI and a film major. I am co-directing as well as co-director of photography on this film.
I'm Taylor Pildarian. I'm the director for this film, Lillian. I'm a senior here at URI. This is my last project before I graduate. Doing it big. I really want this film to be a lot more than a student film. I want it to have more of like a global impact on information about mental illness and really the hereditary effects of it. This film is about it's a true story about my great-grandmother who was in a tragic accident as a child, and that it put her in the hospital for months and months, and eventually led to her having mental illness when she was older and an alcoholism problem. And it's really just about her life and the effects that her situation and condition has on the rest of her family.
My name is Sean Asudi. I am a senior film media major at the University of Rhode Island. I am the script supervisor on the project. I've worked as script supervisor for Alana Rifkin's film Sonder, which was made last semester. And I've also done script supervising for some class shoots. Yeah, script supervisor, basically managing the shots, keeping a note on which shots were good and whatnot. This project is a period piece. Obviously, the key thing here is to maintain continuity between time periods. Obviously, you don't want something from 2015 in a scene that's supposed to take place in like the 1920s. The main reason why we need funding is to transform everything into 1920s, 60s. Everything from cars to wardrobe to props and stuff. We need to make sure everything is accurate to the time. So on the details, man.
Oh, my name is Hans Studing. I'm a senior here at URI. I'm going to be DP on the project Lillian, and the project will be based in between the 20s and the 60s, which will be challenging on my part, making everything match and making everything look original. We'll be shooting this project on the Black Magic camera, which will give us a lot of adjustability in post with the colors and the hues and just making everything match the period. Outside of school, I've been working on a bunch of projects actually, filming with local contractors, doing a bunch of aerial media stuff. So I'm really excited to see where this project takes us. If the funding goes as planned, we won't need to limit ourselves at all, and how it'll make the set deck much more appropriate and much more realistic, just making sure that everything is right from the start and that everything looks right, sounds right, etc.
My name's Casey Levesque. I'm a senior at URI. I'm working on Lillian on wardrobe. I interned on the production Bleed for this, which was a feature film, and I was in and out of the wardrobe department a lot, so I saw how it was done on a feature film. I'm really excited to work on wardrobe on this project. It's gonna be a lot of work, but I think I could get really creative. So wardrobe on Lillian is gonna be, like I said, a really tough job, but really important. We're gonna have at least 28 different costume changes. So that is gonna require a lot of money and time finding all those outfits, but with your help. So I'm gonna have to find clothing for kids. I'm gonna need a military outfit. I'm gonna need a doctor outfit. I'm gonna need to dress the characters for all seasons. Producing has also given me a lot of background in budgeting and handling money, which is gonna be extremely important when it comes to wardrobe. Wardrobe is probably gonna be one of the more expensive aspects of this film. It's going to be super important that we get the funds to, be able to pay for everything.
Hi, I'm David Elperin. I'm doing sound on this project. What really attracted me to this project was how emotionally powerful the story was. It was a true story. I think sound's going to be important because it's a period piece, so you want it to be historically accurate. Make sure the sound's synced and everything. Sound's going to bring across through the atmosphere of the actors. Make sure all the background sounds are good. Make sure everything's in sync from the foreground to the background. I think what we want to do with this project is make sure that it's just not a student film, but make sure like All the sound mixing and editing is top tier. In terms of music, we're thinking about doing some royalty songs that we have to pay for along with public domain. And since we're submitting it to film festivals, funding is extremely crucial for this.
My name's Chris Anderson. I am a junior at URI and a film major. I am co-directing as well as co-director of photography on this film with Hans. I'm extremely excited for this project because it's a true story, which is kind of different from the norm when it comes to student films. They all kind of have that same kind of storyline. As co-director of photography, I'm going to be in charge of making sure that everything looks good through the lens. So we'll be using the Blackmagic camera as well as the Bolex, which shoots 16mm film. We'll be shooting it in black and white specifically for like the opening scene. And that's pretty important because that style of film is going to give our film a look that will set it in the time period of like the 1920s. Just having that black and white real film grain and scratch is really going to set it apart. And it's going to set the scene for the rest of the movie because it is going to be the first sequence in the film, which is going to be pretty cool. I took a 16mm film class last semester here at URI. Really loved it, had a great time, shot with the Reflex from Boston and shot with the Bolex a couple of times, and really I got confident with shooting on real film. It's not as easy as it is shooting on digital, but it's definitely rewarding because what you have is a lot different from what you have when you shoot on digital. So it's going to set our film apart more than our film was already set apart from the crowd. Shooting on the Bolex is not only different mechanically speaking, like on the internals of the camera, but financially speaking. Just the cost associated with buying the film. It's not just like you erase a clip and you reshoot it. You have to buy the film. And you also have to get it developed. So when you get it developed, it's like 17 cents a foot, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're shooting several rolls of film for a project like this, it can really add up. You also have to buy the film like per roll, which costs a pretty good amount of money, and right, it has to be telecine scanned in, and we're going to scan it in HD or 2K, so we want this to really pop on screen. This portion of the film is definitely going to stick with people, I think, the most. Aesthetically, because a lot of students don't shoot on 16mm film if they don't have to. It is a hassle to do, but the outcome is extremely great looking. You know, the first scene of the film is where our main character Lillian, as a child, gets burned in the accident with the fire. So shooting it on film is really gonna help like bring that to life because it happened in the 1920s. It's going to look like it happened in the 1920s, which is what we're going for. So it's really it's going to help really give that first minute of the movie a kick to really get going, and it's going to stay with the audience, I think. So like I said, I'll be co-directing this film. I have directed a couple of different things, just like short films here at URI, which I have learned many invaluable lessons from. I also love to act, which I will not be acting in this film, but being able to have been on the other side of the camera and act, it helps you with being able to direct actors and get the best performance that you can from them, because that's really important. This film is very emotional, so you need to pull as much emotion from the actors in their face and their body language and the way that they move, in the way that they interact and have chemistry with the other characters on film. It's very important that we get everything that we can from them, and having a background of directing and acting, even just a little bit, you learn from the mistakes you've made. I've made plenty. I learn from the ones that I make, and I'm confident that the stuff I've learned here at URI is going to make this film really come out great. We really need to pay attention to detail in this film because details cost money. I'm really excited for what this film is going to turn out to be. It's going to really not be the normal when it comes to student films. It's going to be separated from the rest. We have a great crew. We have great people behind us. All we need is your support. I hope you're as excited and passionate about the film as we are. If you help us out, it's going to pay off in the long run. We're going to have a great movie, and it's going to sit with you after you leave the screening.
I'm Taylor Pildarian. I'm the director for this film, Lillian. I'm a senior here at URI. This is my last project before I graduate. So I really want everything that happens in the film to stick with the audience in a way that kind of parallels how what happened in the movie stuck with the real family that it's based on. Wardrobe's going to be a huge thing. I've worked in a wardrobe department on a feature film last summer, and so I know a lot of the ins and outs, and that was a period piece as well, so that's where I learned a lot about making a period piece. We have the lead actress I've worked with before. We have really great chemistry. She's from Manhattan. She's on a couple off-Broadway shows right now. She's really great. I think she's really good for the role. We're casting children, which is always challenging and concerning, but we've had a lot of response to the role. On top of directing, I'm also producing this film. My vision for this movie is very specific. I want everything to be really historically accurate, and I want the look to match kind of like a flashback sequence that you would see in a film from this time period. We're even shooting the opening sequence on 16mm Bolex film, and I want the movie to be really true to the true story that it's based on. So the visual aesthetic of everything is going to be really important. Outside of URI, I've produced a couple things here. I've produced game segments on TV shows that we do here. I've been a production assistant on multiple feature films. I've worked on Bleed for This. I was a production assistant in the production office. I was a production assistant on a movie called Measure of a Man that is coming out soon. I was a costuming assistant on a film called Polka King that's coming out soon. That one I actually dealt a lot with budgeting. That was my main job. I was in charge of all the budgeting and all the money tracking for every character's change, all of the wardrobe. So I do have experience with handling money and experience with budgeting and making sure we don't go over budget and stealing money from other places when you need it instead of asking for more. So pretty resourceful in that sense. So there are a lot of extra details that are really important to making this film what I want it to be and setting it apart from maybe other student films and other works that I've done. Just making it excel is I really want to be able to rent some old cars to set the scene when we're shooting outside. I would like to rent like old kitchen appliances. I really want everything to look super historically accurate. I also am having my sister, who is very interested in special effects makeup, doing full makeup every day on set on the lead actress. She'll be doing burn scars down the whole side of her face, neck, and arm. I think that we will really be able to get this point across in every aspect of the film. We're really going to try and make this film an immersive experience and really put you in the situation that this family experiences. I really want this film to be an emotional experience and really leave an impact on the audience after they leave.